What's good, YouTube? In today's video, we're going to go over my top 5 favorite long-range weapon builds for Season 5. The season's been out for over a week now, so we've been able to test out a ton of different guns. This will mainly consist of assault rifles and battle rifles. If you enjoyed any part of the video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Now let's get to the first build. For our first gun, we have the TAC V. A lot of people have been using this gun lately, and if you try it out, you'll see why. For the muzzle, I use the Sack and Tread 40 for the extra vertical and horizontal recoil control. I tune this plus 0.8 and plus 0.35. I use the 18-inch precision 6 barrel. I tune this plus 0.5 and plus 0.4. For the optic, I personally been enjoying the SZ Recharge DX, but you can use whatever you prefer. I tune this minus 3.0 and minus 1.95. For the underbarrel, I use the FTAC Ripper 56 for the extra recoil control. I tune this plus 0.59 and plus 0.4, and then I use the 50 round drum. This is a complete build. It's definitely one of the best guns out right now. If you don't like using this optic and you would rather use the iron sights, you can throw on high velocity rounds. For our next gun, we have the ISO Hemlock. This gun should be very familiar to a lot of you. It was meta for a long time and it's still one of the best guns out. For the muzzle, I use the Harbinger D20 for the extra bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil smoothness. I tune that plus 1.22 and plus 1.0. I use the Fielder T50 barrel. I tune this plus 0.15 and plus 0.21. For the optic, I either like to use the SC Recharge DX or the AMO PV4, whichever you prefer. I tune that minus 3.0 and minus 1.95. Instead of using an underbarrel, I use the high velocity rounds to make a more hit scan, and don't worry, it won't add any more recoil. I tune this minus 0.7 and minus 9.0, and the reason I do this is to make it have less recoil but also have more bullet velocity. This is a complete build. It's definitely one of the best guns out right now and probably the easiest to use. For our third gun, we have the Cronin Squaw. There was a slight nerf to this gun, but you honestly can't even notice a difference. It's still one of the best weapons out there. For the muzzle, I use the Sack and Tread 40 for the extra vertical and horizontal recoil control. I tune this plus 0.57 and plus 0.18. I use the HR 6.8 barrel for the extra damage range and bullet velocity. I tune this plus 0.5 and plus 0.25. For the underbarrel, I use the FTAC Ripper 56. I tune that plus 0.8 and plus 0.19. I don't want to tune this all the way to the right because it'll make this gun move way too slow. For the optic, I use the AMO PV4. I tune that minus 3.0 and minus 1.12. And then I use the 50 round drum. Here's the complete build. Try it out. You will not be disappointed. Our next gun up is the Tempest Razorback. This is one of my favorites. I love the movement with this gun. It has great range and it has very little recoil. For the muzzle, I use the Sack and Tread 40 for the extra vertical and horizontal recoil control. I tune this plus 0.54 and plus 0.35. For this gun, make sure you're using a 16-inch barrel. The 18-inch may look more appealing on the stats, but the 16-inch is definitely a better option. It has better recoil control and more bullet velocity. I tune this plus 0.47 and plus 0.4. I use the SZ Recharge DX optic. I tune that minus 3.0 and minus 1.95. And this is another gun I use high velocity rounds on. It doesn't have much recoil, so you don't really need an underbarrel. I tune that plus 0.7 and plus 9.0. And then I use a 60 round mag. This is the complete build. It's still one of the best assault rifles in the game. And our final gun is probably the most slept on gun, the Cast-Off 7.62. I don't know why more people don't use this gun. It has a little bit of recoil, but it hits very hard. For the muzzle, I use the Polar Fire S for the extra bullet velocity and damage range. I tune that plus 1.35 and plus 0.97. I use the Cast 10 584mm barrel. I tune that plus 0.5 and plus 0.4. I use the SC Recharge DX optic, or I'll use the AMO PV4. Both are good options. I tune that minus 3.0 and minus 1.95. And then I use the FTAC Ripper 56 for the extra recoil control. I tune that plus 0.8 and plus 0.4. And then I use the 40 round mag. I really wish this gun had a bigger mag, but we'll work with what we have. This is a complete build. It's definitely a beam. It's one of the hardest hitting guns out right now. Definitely give it a try and let me know what you think. And those were my top 5 favorite long range weapons right now. Check them out and let me know what you think in the comments. Appreciate the love.